Hey everyone, and welcome to the $1 million portfolio journey. It is Monday, 25th of August 2025. It's around 4 o'clock here in London, and I'm gonna do my investment for the day. Before I do that, I'm gonna do a quick portfolio update, and then I'm going to have a look at my main companies, which are Tesla, Nvidia, and Strategy. And then I'm going to invest £250 into my ISA, and I'm going to be purchasing a Tesla for £250. So before we get into it, let's have a look at the portfolio. So the general investment account, just over 48.5k. Stocks and shares ISA, just under 30k, and the self-invested personal pension, just over 51k. So remember, at its peak the general investment account was around 52k. So it has gone down significantly, and then it's gone up again, but it hasn't reached all-time highs. So I've been investing for about 6 to 7 months now, and I've been accumulating, and it's kind of like been around this point for a while now. It doesn't seem like it's growing a lot. It's been around the amount of money that I put in. It seems as though it's still around that area, which is good because I think the companies are consolidating at the moment. So obviously, if they're consolidating, it gives me an opportunity to get the shares at a very low price compared to what the price targets are. So that's the portfolio. Now let's switch to the individual companies. So let's have a look at Tesla now. So Tesla today 339.99, flat today. Last 7 days up around 2.25. Last month up around 5.5. Last 3 months down about 6. Last 6 months up about 17. Last year about 60% up, which isn't bad. And maximum over 5 years is up 137, but nowhere near its highs of around 220%. So there's a lot of opportunity here for growth. My price target for Tesla for 2030 is $3,000. So that's nearly 10x, or 9 point something x. So this is a great opportunity as I see it. So that's Tesla. Let's have a look at Nvidia now. Before we have a look at Nvidia, let's have a look at Strategy. So Strategy trading at 348.27. Bitcoin is down today, so Strategy is down as well, 2.75. It's hit lows of around 5%, but it's recovered quite well now. So it might be a plus day, you never know. So whenever Bitcoin goes down, Strategy goes down as well. Whenever Bitcoin goes up, Strategy goes up. So it's in tandem with Bitcoin, but it is more responsive because it is a treasury company, and all this Bitcoin that Strategy buy is via selling preferred stock or raising money in the money markets through their other products like Stretch and Strike. So this is a great company as well. It might be looking quite weak now, but fundamentally it's very strong because they have a large bag of Bitcoin. They have over 600,000 Bitcoins, and if the price of Bitcoin does reach 1 million by 2030, then Strategy should exceed $3,000 by that time. So my conservative price target for Strategy is around 2,800, and I'm assuming an MNAV of 1, and I'm just putting all the increase to the Bitcoin increase. So if that happens, then it should reach 2,800 by 2030. So I'm not concerned about this at all. The only time I would be concerned about this is if Strategy started selling Bitcoin for some other reason and buying Ethereum or Solana or something like that, or if for example Bitcoin went to about 15 or 10,000, because then they would find it very difficult to service their debt. They can service their debt up to $20,000 Bitcoin. If the price of Bitcoin hits $20,000, they'll be, that's when they get into trouble. But it is very unlikely that Bitcoin will go down about 80 to 90% unless something monumental was to happen. So again, I'm not too concerned. If this price goes down to 300, I'm going to be loading more. But I think Tesla is more it has more opportunity for growth because the AI revolution is just around the corner. And let's have a look at Nvidia now. So Nvidia are around 180 near all-time highs. I think it's gonna go and hit 200, and then when it does, I'm gonna try and sell out of the position and move into underpriced assets. If MicroStrategy goes to around 300, then I'm going to be rotating from Nvidia into MicroStrategy, and then I'm going to try and build up my Nvidia bag as well. So I've got a plan. Hopefully I'm going to stick to it, and hopefully over the long term it's going to come to fruition. So let's do this now. So I'm going to go into my ISA account. I'm going to be contributing 250, but before I do that, I want to have a look at how much of an allowance I have remaining. So I have 9,228 and 98 pence remaining in my ISA allowance. So I need to fill that up as soon as possible. So hopefully by the end of the tax year, I want this all full up. So I'm going to top up 250 today. So I'm going to continue to my bank, and these transfers are usually instantaneous. Okay, so I'm going to continue. Okay, so the top up has arrived, which is great. Now, as you can see, the 250 is in my ISA account. I'm just going to go into my portfolio now, just make sure I'm in my ISA, which I am, and then I'm going to hit Tesla. Hopefully, it should be one share. No, it's 0.9814, so it's going down now. So if I can buy Tesla for one share for 250, that's, I think, a good price. So it's very near that at the moment. So I'm putting the order through now. So any money that I put in, hopefully I'm going to get a 10x return by 2030. So that's my expectation. I could be wrong, but I've done my analysis, I've done my homework, I've checked the fundamentals of the company. I've got a good idea of where the future is going to be, how it's going to be, who are the big players, and I think Tesla is going to be the biggest company in the world as soon as things start to play out. So any money that I put in now, so this 250 that I put in is going to turn into 2,500. When you take into account inflation and all of that, it's probably going to end up around 700-800 pounds in real terms, but that's a good return. So yeah, so the buy order is complete. Total cost 249.63. 0.9813 shares. Price per share $341.81. FX is 1.34. FX fee of just under £1. Commission 0. So that's done. So let's have a look at the portfolio now. The ISA hopefully should be over 30k now, which is excellent. So we're moving in the right direction, which is up, and I'm just going to keep on contributing. If I can fill my contribution for this year and then my family's contribution in terms of stocks and shares, ISA and SIP, while the prices are low, like Tesla is around 300, MSTR is around 300, then I'll be very, very happy, because 10xing from here, that would make a lot of money. So at the moment, I'm 5x away from a million, but if the 10x was to happen, I would end up with 2 million, and I'm going to continually be investing in these companies. So who knows where it could go, but my first target is to hit 1 million. So for anyone who's new to my account, to my YouTube channel, my goal for this channel for my investments is to reach £1 million as soon as possible. I have around 200k in my brokerage account, my family's brokerage account. When you take into account everything, I have around 200k. So I'm about 5x away from a million. So I want to get to 1 million as soon as possible. Once I get to 1 million, I'm going to have another target like 10 million and then 100 million. and I'm just gonna keep on pushing the boundaries to see where I can go, and I'm gonna be investing relentlessly. So I have four very basic rules. First rule, very simply, is I'm a very long-term investor. So for the next 5 years, I'm not gonna sell anything, and if I do, it's gonna be a rotational trade, and I'm gonna try and keep it for at least 10 years. So that's rule number one, long term outlook. Rule number two is I'm a very aggressive investor. So I try to invest £250 every day the market is open. Previously I did 500, which was unsustainable. Then there was one period I started doing 1,000, but I couldn't sustain it. So I'm just gonna do it in a more controlled way now. So £250, then I'm going to try and increase it to 300, then hopefully to 500, and then my aspiration is to go to £1,000 a day when it comes to my investing. So that's rule number two, aggressive investing. Rule number three is I'm a very, very volatile investor, which means I invest in volatile stocks like Tesla, Strategy, and Nvidia. So suppose Tesla is trading around 340. If it was to go around down to 200, I'm not going to panic. I'm just going to collect my thoughts, collect my feelings, and then I'm going to start investing again, because I'm looking at the long term fundamentals of the company. So if there is a problem long term, then I'd probably sell it, but if there isn't, if it's just a short term blip, then it doesn't make sense to sell a long term position. That's rule number three. And rule number four is I'm going to try and be as tax efficient as possible. So it's bad enough with inflation and taxation and debasement and so many other things that are eroding the value of what we're trying to do. Like every penny that we earn, as soon as we earn it, it's eroded in value, so by about 10-15%, because of all the money printing. So we have to beat that. We have to beat 10-15% every year, and we have to CAGR at least 20-30% to stay ahead compared to like inflation. So it's really hard to like comprehend what kind of effect inflation has, what kind of effect debasement has, what kind of effect money printing has, monetary policy. All these things have a big displacement on your investment. So you have to grow your account as much as you can. So 1 million might sound like a lot today, but it's not going to buy a lot in the future in 5 years time. So you just have to keep on beating inflation. So that's rule number four, try and be as tax efficient as possible. And my outlook for the future is Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is going to play a big part in society in the future. It's already over $2 trillion or $3 trillion at the moment in terms of market cap, and it's just going to keep on growing as a store of value. AI is going to make some radical changes to our lives now, and it's just going to play a big part in the future. Like companies like Nvidia are now more, they have more money, they have a bigger valuation than the GDP of the UK. So just let that sink in for a minute. Like a company is getting as powerful as a country, and it's just going to keep on getting bigger and bigger, because AI is going to just like sweep everything away. So you want to position yourself into Bitcoin and AI, which is exactly what I've done. Strategy is my Bitcoin play, and AI is my Tesla is my AI play, Nvidia is my AI play, and I placed all of these in tax efficient wrappers. So the CAGR should be very high, and then I'm gonna be taxed. I'm not going to be taxed anything at all through my ISA. So that's the main thing. So hopefully you found this useful, hopefully you found this inspiring. Go on your own journey to beating inflation, to beating debasement, to beating money printing. Make your effort worth something. Don't erode it away, because when you get paid money, as soon as you're paid for the amount of value that you created, that value is eroded straight away by 15% every year probably. and you just need to put it somewhere where that value is not eroded. Places like Tesla, Strategy, Nvidia, Bitcoin, it just makes sense. And then you have to be aware of taxation as well. So go on your own journey, research companies, research inflation, debasement, monetary policy, things like that, and open your eyes and then see what's possible and start investing and see where it takes you. So that's it for today. Join me tomorrow for another portfolio update, and I'll be investing another £250 into the stock market. So until then, have a great day. Take care. Bye.